One major thing going on right now, which a lot of people don't know about, a lot of people do, is there's a reorganization possibilities going on, I guess we'd want to say. Those will be voted on in November. It's going to make big changes. That's going to make big changes to the school district as far as how we go from here to there and what we actually do. And obviously, the biggest issue we face is the budget. Low enrollment and the budget does not do good for the Faribault School District. We need to work on getting extra stuff here at the school to bring kids in from other districts. That's the bottom line. We need to increase the enrollment, which will help the budget, which will help everything.
So the birth rate in our community and elsewhere is dropping, and therefore enrollment in our public schools is dropping. Less dollars means less dollars coming to our schools, and so we have to do the best that we can do with money that we do get. So first of all, we need to provide programs like early childhood and pre-K to get our little ones ready for school and bring these families to our schools. And studies have shown that kids who start out in our schools typically stay with our schools and graduate. I think that our Spanish immersion program also attracts many students, and I would like to see that expand to support our Spanish-speaking students and give our English-speaking students an opportunity to learn another language at a young age. I talk to many people with young kids, and they're pretty excited about the chance for their English-speaking kids to learn another language starting in kindergarten. And then we need to attract and retain the best educators and provide programs that attract parents and students. Our focus needs to be on our students and how we can offer them the very best education.
I'll give you the canned answer. Finances is going to be an issue. As we take a look at what that means financially, but driven by enrollment. I think one of our biggest challenges is how are we going to address the decline in enrollment that district is facing. And that's not just something that Faribault Independent School District 656, that's a lot of districts are facing the whole issue of decline in enrollment. So how do we address that? And looking at decline in enrollment in the context of how do we maintain that culture of educational excellence as we take a look at decline in enrollment, which means that we're going to have to reduce some services, which means we're going to have to take a look at class size. But as long as we keep that culture of excellence as our ultimate goal, a culture of excellence in education as our ultimate goal, our finances are going to be driven by that. We're not going to let our finances drive what we want to do. We're going to do this. This is our goal. Now how do we allocate our limited resources to do that? That's going to be our number one, our biggest factor. Also our changing demographics. How do we address the changing demographics, not only in our schools but in our community? How do we embrace that as an asset rather than a liability? How do we deal with that so that we are looking at cultural diversity as something that it's just the way the world is. And we've got to be able to live in that world, and our students have to be able to live in that world. So the finances and how do we allocate limited resources to maintain our educational excellence, and secondly, how do we embrace the diversity that we have, not only in this community but in our school systems, to prepare students to live in a diverse world. Also, from a personnel standpoint, as we take a look at, as you know, there are we are faced with some teacher shortages. How are we going to address that? How are we going to encourage young individuals to go into the career of education, to the field of education? It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. And how do we do with that? So how do we deal with some of those shortages that we're faced? I think also the whole issue of people feel that in education there's some not so safe environments. How do we make sure that people know that when you send your child to school, all factors taken into consideration, they're going into a safe environment. But those are the 4 areas where I feel we're going to face our biggest challenges in the next foreseeable future.
As in recent years, our budget will pose a significant challenge. During my time on the board, we've had to cut several $1 million, and we're projected to face a similar reductions yet this year. Though these budget cuts are difficult, they reflect a broader reality where businesses, individuals, and organizations are all making substantial financial adjustments. To navigate this, we must assess and prioritize our programs and initiatives, focusing on those that are essential for maintaining high quality and equitable education while evaluating the costs of others. Although we might face changes, we can still achieve success through a positive mindset and innovative thinking.